Good afternoon everyone and welcome to the Higher Education Open event. In this session we're going to be looking at outdoor education, sport and public services courses. We have the tutors on hand to answer your questions, but first a short video to guide you through the subjects. Sit back and enjoy, and if you have any questions feel free to type them into the Q&A section and we'll answer them afterwards.
My name is Lee Pritchard. I work here at Herefordshire, Ludlow and North Shropshire College, and I have a responsibility for the outdoor focused HE programmes we run in partnership with the University of Worcester. We have three very different pathways that you may be interested in further exploring. There is an Outdoor Adventure Leadership and Management BSc, a Physical Education and Outdoor Education BSc, and a Primary and Outdoor Education BA Honours. All three programmes are based over at the University of Worcester, but are run in collaboration with the college, sharing resources, staff, equipment, libraries and the like. The staff working on these programmes are highly qualified and experienced and specialists in their field. The Outdoor Adventure Leadership and Management programme requires you to have 96 UCAS points, and within your UCAS application to provide a personal statement demonstrating a current involvement and enthusiasm for outdoor adventure. It gives the opportunity for wide-ranging career pathways, the military, teaching, outdoor centres, expedition leaders as examples. It's approved by the Institute for Outdoor Learning. The PE and Outdoor Education pathway requires you to have 112 UCAS points. 50% of the delivery is mainstream PE, the remaining 50% is outdoor adventure focused. It is aimed at those students who wish to pursue a career as secondary PE teachers, providing outdoor adventure in a school setting. The Primary and Outdoor Ed pathway requires 112 UCAS points. 50% of the delivery has a primary education focus, the remaining 50% an outdoor education focus. And this is aimed at students who wish to pursue a career as primary school teachers using outdoor practice in a primary school setting. Alongside the degree, there are the opportunities to gain a range of extra national governing body awards which improve employment prospects within the outdoor field. Mountain Leader Award, Climbing Wall Instructor and Paddle Sport Instructor as examples. Our courses are unique. We take very much a personal approach, recruiting small cohorts. The staff involved with them are highly experienced industry specialists who take an approachable, friendly style to their delivery. We make use of varied assessments, presentations, coursework, essays, case studies and practical assessments to best suit the style of delivery and our students' expertise and experience. There are opportunities on the programmes to study a semester abroad in Year 2. PE and Outdoor Ed students can take up an opportunity in Canada or Sweden. OALM students can take up opportunities in Minnesota and Norway. There are additional trips and experiences that people can take the opportunities for, such as ski trips, climbing trips to France, winter mountaineering trips. The university also has a wide range of student union clubs and societies that students have access to. The three programmes all have an outdoor adventure thread, but can lead to very different employment possibilities. So it's worth looking very carefully at the content of the courses before deciding upon which one you feel is best for you. Further information is available on the college and the university websites, or I can be contacted via the college and I will be more than happy to answer any further questions you may have. I hope this presentation has been useful to you, and I look forward to hearing from some of you in the future.
It's a brand new foundation degree with a focus on leadership and management, coaching and teaching, and health and fitness. The course is aimed at anybody with an interest in sport and physical activity. Some of the typical units include Fundamentals of Sport and Exercise Science, Sport and the Community, Principles of Sport Pedagogy, Sports Leadership and Management, Training Principles of Sports Coaching, and Work-Based Learning. So the course is split across 3 days. That's 1 day a week at Hereford campus, 1 day a week at Worcester University, and then 1 day a week is work-based learning. That's a mix between theory and practical lessons, where we get the use of the Worcester labs, all their practical facilities, and the Herefordshire use of the Point Form facilities. So progression routes after, there's 2 years at Hereford and Worcester, can lead to jobs in sports coaching, sports leadership, sports management, and the fitness industry. So on completion of the foundation degree, you have the option to top up for the final 3rd year at the University of Worcester, studying a number of degrees, typically in sports development, sports coaching, and fitness.
Hello there, my name is Craig Smith and I'm the Programme Manager for the Public Services Department at Hereford Ludlow College, Hereford campus. This information video is to bring an exciting opportunity that we are running a HNC Higher National Certificate and HND Higher National Diploma in Public Services, which are Level 4 and Level 5 qualifications starting in September 2020. The programme is 1 day a week. So the HNC is 1 day a week and the HND will also be 1 day a week over 36 academic weeks. The programme costs £3,600 per academic year, but this cost can be claimed through the student loan process. This programme is for anybody who would like to enter employment into the emergency, military or public sector organisations. And has a very blended learning approach to it, so there will be opportunities to go out into the wider community to gain some learning experience. There'll be reading weeks, individual study weeks, as well as contact time with tutors to go over the units. People often ask, why would one study a HNC or a HND in a subject? So what's brilliant about a HND is with a HND, which is a level 5 qualification, often people then can go to university and top up and walk directly into the 3rd year of a university degree. But the degree would have to be in a subject that's relevant to the HND. So degrees such as police science, criminology, fitness and coaching, any degree which basically has strong public services links. What are the entry requirements? The entry requirements essentially are 3 A levels or a extended diploma, so a BTEC at level 3, or relevant experience. So we are very aware that some individuals may be studying this later in life who have relevant experience in public service or in the wider community that allow for them to be at a position where they are ready to study this programme. English and maths at a level 4 or a C or above are what we would consider as what we would like to see, but once again these are negotiable depending on previous experience and what other qualifications the individual has. In the first year there will be 8 units, in the second year there are 7 units. In the first year there will be subjects such as mental health, terrorism, outdoor skills, fitness testing and training. In the second year there'll be units such as organised crime, coaching and mentoring, and an individual research project. How will the programme be assessed? There'll be a varied type of assessment throughout all of the units. These will range from group presentations, individual presentations, essays, projects, practical assessment. So the assessment will be very varied to ensure that all types of individuals are assessed in preference and need, and there will always be room for negotiation about how we can assess you and ensure that we get the best result from you. The teaching staff that will be teaching you on this programme and guiding you through this learning journey all have very specific public service or outdoor ed or fitness or mental health or any other relevant experiences which make them suitable candidates to be guiding you through this process. If you'd like to apply for this programme, please visit the Herefordshire and Ludlow College website. Go to the Apply for 2020 link. The HNC and HND, so initially you'll be applying for the HNC. Please fill out an online application and I will contact you to arrange an online or a telephone interview, and we will discuss the matter further, and hopefully I'll be seeing you in 2020 to study HNC in Public Services. I'll see you then. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you got me. So very, very briefly, we run 3 degree pathways that have an involvement in the outdoors. There's a primary outdoor ed route, which is aimed at those folk who wish to become primary school teachers, who are involved in forest schools or interior and in the main in grounds activities. There's a PE and outdoor ed pathway, which is aimed at those who wish to become secondary PE teachers, the sort of teachers who may run the D.A.V., run the school ski trip, maybe take groups to the local climbing wall. And then we have an outdoor adventure leadership pathway, which is aimed at folk who wish to go into the outdoors as outdoor professionals. Although some of the people from that course do go into teaching, both primary and secondary, and some of them go into the military. There is a balance on all 3 courses between theory and practical. And on the primary and the PE routes, 50% of the delivery will be specific to its pathway, so primary education or mainstream PE, with the remaining 50% being outdoor ed based. On the outdoor adventure leadership pathway, it's all specific to working in the outdoors. Alongside the programmes, there's the opportunity to gain national governing body awards. Some of these are delivered as part of modules, some of them are optional extras. Things such as the mountain leader qualification, the climbing wall instructor, paddle sport instructor. There is also the possibility to gain additional experience through work placements and through optional trips, ski trips, winter mountaineering experiences, and climbing experiences in southeast France in the summer. All 3 courses are small courses. We have small cohorts which enable us to get to know our students very well and to tailor the delivery to best suit your needs and your career aspirations. There you go. Will that help, Laura? Yeah,
brilliant. Okay, so as we're having a few issues, if I stay with you and we'll ask some questions and then we can move on to the other tutors about the other subjects, if that's all right.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so with the BSc Outdoor Adventure Leadership and Management course, where will students be mainly based? In the University of Worcester.
So it's based at the University of Worcester. Most of the teaching takes place either on the St John's campus or at Lakeside campus. And then for our practical delivery, we use the local areas, the Black Mountains, the Brecons, the Wye Valley, and also a little further afield, so the Peak District, the Lake District and North Wales. But as a student, you'll be living and be based in Worcester rather than Hereford.
Okay, so kind of related to that, what trips do you have for the course?
Okay, so in all of the practical modules that exist in year 1 and year 2, there are trips as part of those modules. So in year 1, a backpacking experience in the Black Mountains, an overnight canoeing expedition, and a 3-day climbing trip to the Peak District. In year 2, a 3-day climbing trip or hill-based trip, depending on what the students have chosen to study. There's a 5-day backpacking trip to the Lake District in year 3. We run an optional winter skills week in January based in the Cairngorms, an optional mountain leader training course based in North Wales at Easter, and then there's a climbing holiday that takes place in southeast France at the end of June.
Okay, that sounds great. So how are students assessed?
Okay. So students are assessed by a variety of means. There are some essays obviously attached. There are some case studies. there's presentations, there are practical assessments attached to the practical modules. So in year 1, those assessments are concerned with your personal skills. In year 2, those assessments are concerned with your ability to impart knowledge, your ability to coach and to lead the activities. There are very, very few exams. There are no exams whatsoever in year 3. There's 1 exam in year 2, and there are 3 short exams in year 1.
Okay. How many UCAS points do I need to get onto the course?
So for OALM, it's 96. For PE and OE, I think it's 112. And for primary outdoor ed, it's also 112, I think. Okay.
So if we move on to some questions about the BSc physical education and outdoor education, what can they go on to do after completing the course?
So PE and OE is mainly aimed at people who wish to become PE teachers, and in the main in secondary schools. So it gives them a diversity in terms of what they can deliver. Some of those students do, however, leave the course at the end of the 3 years and go and work in the outdoor industry. I must stress, though, that they enter the industry at a lower level generally than those folk who've studied on the OALM course, which is more specific to that pathway.
Okay. Do students go on work placement?
Yes, they do. OALM, there's an expectation of a work placement that occurs in the summer break between year 1 and year 2, and that needs to be with a relevant outdoor provider, and we will help students with that. On the primary outdoor ed, they choose between a school-based placement or an industry-based placement, and the same for PE. They can choose between a school-based placement or an industry-based placement. There is also the option on the OALM course to take an additional work placement module in year 3 to further develop their skills and knowledge of the industry.
Okay. So looking more at the BA Primary and Outdoor Education course, what units do you typically cover?
Okay, so primary outdoor ed, there are modules that are concerned specifically with educational development and the role of the primary school teacher. We look at creative approaches to the use of outdoor ed. There is an introductory module in year 1 that's a practical module that looks at the use of a wide range of activities: canoeing, problem solving, orienteering, climbing, forest schools type approaches. The aim being at the end of the 3 years, the students that have taken that course have sufficiently broad knowledge of the activities that are relevant to primary school students and sufficiently broad knowledge of educational approaches to enable them to get onto a PGCE.
Okay. And with that course, is there any trips involved with that as well?
Within that course, there aren't.
Yeah. Okay.
So the practicals are all single day delivery, and there aren't any residential trips as such, apart from one module in year 3 where there is a 3-day, 4-day residential experience as part of an outdoor adventure in the natural environment module. And that module is shared across all 3 courses. So students from all 3 courses study that module together.
Okay. And talking sort of about all 3 of the courses, how much time is spent sort of in university studying compared to being out?
Compared to being out practically, or
yeah, practically. Sorry,
okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, it's different on each course, to be honest. So if I use OALM as an example, in year 1, there will be at least 1 full day of practical delivery each week. Some weeks it will be 2 days, some weeks it will be 3, and then there are 3 taught sessions, academic sessions each week, and those sessions will be up to 4 hours long, 4 hours in duration each. So they may well have a day and a half, roughly, of academic delivery and at least 1 full day of practical delivery. within some of that academic delivery, there is also practical development as well. So it isn't really clearly defined. Sorry.
All right. I think that's it for the questions for your courses. Is there anything you want to add? Just no. Okay. Brilliant.
Other than the fact that we're still taking applications, and we'll cap at about 30 students, so we're almost there. So if people are interested, they do need to get in touch.
Yeah, getting fast.
Yeah.
Okay then. If we can move on to Nick to talk about the foundation doing sport in the community.
Could I interject there a minute, guys? Nick's having some problems with his Wi-Fi. He just privately messaged me. So could we do public services first in the hope that Nick can get his internet sorted out, please?
Yeah, of course we can. Okay. So you're right to give us a quick overview about the public services course, and then we can go on to some questions.
Of course, yeah, no problem at all. So full disclosure, the HNC and HND and Public Services are in their infancy. So this is the first year we've had authorisation from the awarding body to actually run these programmes. So it is new, which is exciting because we've got lots of new ideas and lots of ways we can structure the course. And the beauty of that is over time, we'll obviously be able to develop it and get some feedback from learners in the future of how we can improve the programme and keep meeting the local need. But essentially, this is an add-on exit strategy for our already very popular public services courses at the Hereford Ludlow College, Hereford campus. So the HNC is a higher national certificate. And that's what any learner who wishes to progress onto this programme would need to start with, because the programme is a 2-year programme. The first year is a HNC and the second year is a HND, so that's Higher National Certificate and Higher National Diploma. The programme is 1 day a week over 36 academic weeks. This is time actually in college with a tutor. This obviously there'll be an element of home study, work placement, etc. that sits alongside that, which I'll discuss in due course. But in the first year, there are lots of different units which the learners will take part in. So this programme is really for anybody who would like to enter the world of public service, whether that be the emergency services, military services, probation, any service really that is uniformed essentially. And what this programme does nicely is it gives a nice generic touch and flavour of all the different aspects of what it means to work as a public service worker without specialising too heavy in any one particular area.
Okay, cool. So if we move on to some questions then.
Yeah.
One question is, what have past students gone on to do after completing this course?
So this particular programme, none, because it's brand new. But what the reason we've actually created this programme is because a lot of our public service students who study at level 3 will go straight into the emergency or military services. Now, the time it can take to actually get through the application process for those services can be often up to a couple of years. We also find that a lot of students will be in a position where they would like to go to university, but they also want to kind of like run their application at the same time and don't want to commit to actually moving to a different city to study at higher level education. So to meet that local need, what we've done is created this programme so our students can take part in a higher level of education whilst also living in their local community, and we can support them in that process of joining their public service.
Okay. So what are the entry requirements for the course?
So the entry requirements are 3 A levels or a BTEC extended diploma, if you will, preferably in subjects that are relevant to public sector work, but that doesn't necessarily have to be the case. We'd also like to see a grade C on the old system or a grade 4 on the new system in English and maths. But the reality of that is, once again, we will treat every person based on their own situation. So we very much envision that this course will attract some people who've been out of education for quite some time and perhaps are looking for a career change. So, you know, any of these entry requirements are negotiable based on the particular individual's work experience, life experience, etc. Okay.
So how are students assessed during the course?
The assessments vary really, so not dissimilar to Lee on the outdoor courses. The one positive to this particular programme is because it's a HNC and HND, there are no envisioned examinations whatsoever. So there may be some small like knowledge checks, but if exams are something that our learners are not too much of a fan of, then rest assured we won't be doing many of those, if not any at all. So the assessment will range from presentations to group work to essays and to research projects, even practical assessments. So there'll be some practical on the fitness and more physical related units. So really there's something for everybody in terms of preference when it comes to assessment.
Okay. And what jobs could they go on to do after completing the course?
So the beauty of this programme is obviously after 2 years you'll have a higher national diploma. So you'd have two exit strategies really. One would be to go and top up at university to a full degree. So a lot of universities will allow their applicants to walk in onto a third year if they have a high national diploma. So we're hoping some students would choose that option and go and top up in a subject such as criminology, sports science, any degree essentially that has strong links to the units and credits that they've taken part in with us on the high national diploma. But the actual career progression opportunities would be law enforcement, so working for the police, military, so that'd be the army, the navy, the RAF, but also moving on to like probation, working with rehabilitating offenders. So there are a plethora of different avenues that our learners can go on to with this qualification. Now, it's worth noting that this won't necessarily guarantee employment, just like anything won't, but this will certainly stand our applicants in good stead because they will have a higher level qualification. Okay.
And final question, are there any trips?
Trips. So at this moment in time, we've got lots of units planned. So there's 8 units in the first year and 7 in the second year. So the high national diploma has 7 units. So some of the units may well lend themselves quite nicely to some work placement or to some, I wouldn't say trips, but perhaps some sort of like some opportunities to learn within the community. So in terms of actual trips abroad or something along the lines of that, there's nothing actually in the pipeline just yet. But at this moment in time, we're still looking at how we can best deliver the units and make sure that we meet the learners' needs. So watch this space. There might well be some interest in avenues we can travel.
Okay. So is there anything else you'd like to add, or are you happy with that?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose there's one last little thing is to talk about some of the actual unit titles to give anyone who's listening a bit of an idea of what type of thing you're actually studying. So, because when we say public services, HNC, what does that actually mean? So, in the first year, there'll be organisational structures and culture, mental health and well-being, equality, diversity and fair treatment, public service and contemporary society, terrorism and counter-terrorism, crime reduction and community safety, training for fitness and health, and outdoor skills development. And in the second year, there'll be a research project, which is a large research project, which the individuals or the learners can pick any topic that's relevant. Reflective professional practice, serious organised crime, theories of crime, advanced fitness and health, training, coaching and mentoring techniques, and contemporary sociological issues.
Okay. So we would be moving on to Nick, but he doesn't seem to be back into the session. Have you heard of him at all?
I'm afraid I haven't, and I don't know enough to be able to wing that one for us, I'm afraid.
No, that's okay. So what I will say is that due to obviously the video issue, we will edit the videos later on and put them up onto YouTube. We'll ensure to have that video put up on there so you can watch it and get the full details of the course, and then the Q&A will also be on there. If there's any more questions that we have missed, then you can comment on our YouTube channel. You can contact the college by ringing or on the website, and we'll get your query sorted. But thank you for watching.